Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your weekly reading for March 9th to the 15th. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to jump right in, Virgo. Happy daylight savings. You get an extra hour in every day in your new world, your new era. I hope you're excited and you know you officially left the old world. It's gone. It's gone. Bye-bye, right? There's no Circuit City. Mm-mm. No Bennigans. There's no cash money here. No paper money. You're officially in your new world thanks to the Great Reset, the Great Awakening, the Great Shift. All of that, it happened February 20th. And as part of this new world that you're in, you are still acclimating, okay? And you are going through, you're going out of all the signs, you're going through major rebirth. Okay? Yeah. Because of Saturn Neptune conjunction, your 8th house of death and rebirth and transformation, regeneration. Now, remember, over the weekend, you had some really big aspects. You had Venus conjunct Saturn. You had the Mercury Cazimi, Mercury, your ruler. You had Mercury trine Jupiter. It's all spilling over into this week. All right? On top of these really potent aspects. Therefore, you're going to experience a little bit more change. A lot of change. Dramatic change. Big change. Okay? You're a caterpillar. You know that? You're a caterpillar. There are 4 stages to becoming a butterfly. You remember from middle school. Yeah, you do. I got to pick up my dog. Ruby the Virgo. Yeah, she always knows. She always knows when we're doing the Virgos, okay? And here's the thing. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. Butterfly to caterpillar. Caterpillar to butterfly. All right? You're on your way. You're on your way. And you already went through stage 1, right? The Saturn Neptune conjunction, that was last month. That was a cracking of the egg. This week you're going to be in stage 2, just letting you know. That's you're laying the groundwork. That's what you're doing. You're going to be building your bridge. Remember that from your monthly forecast. And this bridge is to the new you. As part of your spiritual growth, of course, we're in Pisces season. And yeah, things may be a little bit confusing. Your ruler Mercury is retrograde. You might feel that there's got to be some moments you're going in circles. You may be hitting some, dead ends, right? Which actually can feel a little strange because your consciousness is expanding, right? And so just as you know, with Mercury retrograde, you want to focus on you, okay? You want to use this time to reflect. You don't want to fight any setbacks, okay? This is your time. All right? Focusing on your intuition, your pineal gland, your path forward. You're meant to reassess, rethink, review, especially when it comes to relationships and partnerships. It's your 7th house. Remember, Pisces rules your 7th house. It's your opposite sign. So it's love, marriage, partnerships. It can be business, can be work, can be also personal relationships as well. Contracts, agreements. It really is like your commitments. But there's so many other things happening. It really, like, love and money really is going to be a big theme for you. But partnerships, work, you get it all, Virgo. All right. I actually think you're really going to like this week. I think you're going to like this week. If you like a little bit of heat in the kitchen, that you're going to love this week. Okay. But please take this time to review, rethink, reevaluate all of that. Your lover, your job, your passions, what brings you joy, what feels right for you. Yeah. And then stage 3 is going to be next week. Remember the cluster of days around March 20th. We've got the equinox. We have the new moon. We have all planets direct. So big moment. So this week, yeah, it's going to be you. It's going to be you getting to the point where you trust the bridge that you're building toward your new you. Okay. And you're going to be asking yourself, is my foundation set? Is it stable? Is my heart fully invested? even on the other side of the bridge. And how bad do I want it? This new me, and how good it will feel when I get there. Stage 4, by the way, will be April. Yeah, that's going to be a really, really big month. But you're going to have a lot more clarity. You're going to have this really solid ambition. April's like a huge green light, FYI. It's also when we have the 7-planet stellium in Aries. When's the last time you ever experienced that, Virgo? Never. It's never happened. Have you seen 7 planets in a sign during a new moon? No. So it's going to be big. And then also remember, Uranus is moving into Gemini. Oh yeah, just wait. Career stuff. Oh, off the chain. Yeah, I think people still say that, but it's when the prison portal is going to really lock in. And so April, there it is, your big butterfly reveal. Remember, your future self is watching you right now. So please use this week for you. You've got Mars and Pisces. That's going to make you feel emotionally, spiritually driven, very inspired. Yeah. Maybe even with new goals, new relationships, contracts. You got Venus and Aries. You're going to feel extra passionate. We're going to talk about this. Maybe even rebellious. Yeah. Maybe even rebellious. You know about Venus and Aries. So you may feel a little bit of an edge, like you want to bring dancing back to your small town where it's outlawed. But whatever it is, whatever you want, you are not going to take no for an answer, especially on Monday, March 9th, where Venus is going to sextile Pluto. So this is happening at 3 degrees. We typically get Venus sextile Pluto a couple times a year. We're only getting it once. 2026. Use this wisely. All right? Venus and Aries. Venus and Aries is, I want this. I will get it. Okay? Pluto in Aquarius says, oh, okay, well, I'm going to burn everything down for you to have it. So there is intensity here with this aspect. Pluto is power. Pluto has depth. Pluto transforms. He is the ruler of the 8th, just to let you know where Venus is, okay? They're really tag teaming here. And both Venus and Pluto have to do with relationships and wealth and sex and power. So this has a kick, all right? And you're really going to feel it as part of your transformation, as part and love and money, really big theme for you. Really big theme, as well as, relationships, as you know. There may be something that it's almost like a kickoff to maybe like a really important conversation that you might have around this time. Pluto in Aquarius, remember Aquarius rules your 6th house, so maybe something here with work, maybe something here with health, your daily activities, your daily routines, self-improvement. But I'd really focus on that 8th house where Venus is, because it is the 8th house, and the 8th house is really deep. And 8th house is intimacy. It's shared resources. It's building your wealth. It's inheritance. It's investments. It's commissions. It's royalties, taxes, loans, things like that. Okay. It's also like karmic debt as well. And we'll talk about that. There's something else happening this week, but just keep that in mind. This is a sextile. It's an opportunity for the taking. This is also, especially for you, because it is the 8th house, which again, remember, is transformation. So you could really completely rebrand yourself if you are here for work or career or just in general, right? Especially through networking or your community, your audience, people you connect with, right? There may be something here if you are looking for, if you're single, if you're looking, dating apps, go for it. Okay. Remember, Aquarius rules technology. Even if you're here for money investment apps, you may just explore these things, right? The fact that Pluto natively rules your third house, which is, that would be communication. That would also be like the internet. It'd be social media. So either way, you're just going to feel really magnetic. You're going to feel this rush, empowered, like you're a hero. Yeah, a superhero, or a villain. Okay. Maybe both, like Tom or Jerry. Because here's the thing. Remember, Venus is your desires, and Pluto can take things to extremes. So that said, yes, passion can run deep. It can also burn deep with this aspect. So the lower expression of what's happening here would be obsession, would be jealousy, would be power struggles, manipulation. And because Venus is in Aries, in your 8th house, Pluto and Aquarius in your 6th, but also natively ruling your 3rd, which is, Pluto is a ruler for Scorpio. The 8th house is Scorpio's home. So you see how this can also be the other direction you might go, So just remember, use this energy, okay? For your better self, your higher good, your greater good, all of that. But here's the thing. There's going to be a plot twist. There's always a plot twist with me. This same day, the moon will be in Scorpio, okay? And as we know, the moon in Scorpio already has intensity to it. This is going to be for like the first half of the day, okay? The moon in Scorpio will be opposite Uranus in Taurus, 27 degrees. And if you are a cross watcher, if you watch for a rising sign or your moon, just pay attention, or for, your lover, your business partner, whoever. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, all the fixed signs, buckle up. All right. Because this is the kicker, because ancient astrologers, they didn't know about the outer planets. They didn't know about Uranus and Neptune and Pluto. They didn't have telescopes, right? And in modern dignity, Uranus is actually considered exalted in Scorpio. So with that theory, because the moon is exalted in Taurus, you do have mutual reception by exaltation. And so what does that mean? It means the emotional intensity of this Scorpio moon is kind of forced to work with the chaotic, unpredictable nature of Uranus and Taurus. Okay? They're not seeing eye to eye. In fact, they're going to go after each other. Just letting you know. Because, the moon doesn't like being in Scorpio. Uranus doesn't like being in Taurus. But, and you're Virgos. I know you love layered plot twists. What makes this even more complex is the fact that this is happening. Remember, moon in Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus, right? The same day that Venus is going to sextile Pluto. Well, Venus happens to be the ruler of Taurus. Pluto happens to be the ruler of Scorpio. So the rulers of the signs are in this harmonious relationship, the sextile, hosting the opposition. I wouldn't. This is pretty rare, just to let you know. And I normally wouldn't even bring this up, but it is Venus sextile Pluto, which is already intense, and then you have another intense lunation that's happening. This opposition, and then this very unique double linked reception. So, what does this all mean? It means, like, buckle up. This is adding a fire to an already lit fire, but like stronger fire. The blue, when you see the blue in it. Anyway, we'll talk about it a little bit more in the second spread. It is a little chaotic. Just, again, like I said, if you like a little bit of heat in the kitchen, you're going to love this. Now, later that day, we will have a minor grand trine. So now in the evening, or the second half of the day, and that's going to be with the moon in Sagittarius, Venus in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius. So it's a lot of fire and air. We'll talk about it in the second spread, but there's some family stuff happening. Tuesday, March 10th, Jupiter finally goes direct in Cancer. I love this for you. I think that out of all the signs, you're up there in terms of the ones that are just going to get really excited about this. And just to let you know, this day is also very loud because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, as we know, and he is at his degree of exaltation. And so Jupiter is in his best place where he does the best for you when he's exalted. But at his degree of exaltation, which is 15 degrees, that's the highest frequency he can go. You're going to have this all month. So this is absolutely amazing. This is really good news. A lot of y'all are going to feel this momentum right away. That support, security, blessings, optimism in home and family, real estate matters, relationships, business partners, contracts, all of that. Okay. But Jupiter in Cancer, that's your 11th house. And so the 11th house is not only your future hopes and aspirations and goals. And again, especially if you felt like, things were going in circles, you felt a little stuck. Oh, just wait. Okay. Just wait. But the 11th house is also like, your network, your support system. It would be like your friendships, your squad, benefactors, and allies and organizations you belong to. So this is really great. I think that, there's going to be, you're just going to start seeing from this point forward, everything that Jupiter promises and delivers, like luck and good fortune and wisdom, protection. It's all going to be amplified. All right. So, you're going to have this up through the summer. And remember, it's next week, March 20th, when all planets are going to be direct. All right. Mercury will move direct. And this is going to be until May when all planets are direct. So when I say you're going to see things move, you're going to see things move. Okay. Now, the other thing is that the moon will still be in Sagittarius. And you feel this, you're a fellow mutable sign. The moon in Sagittarius is going to, it's going to conjunct the fixed star and Taurus, a royal star. And we'll talk about this in the second spread where we talk about the fixed stars and the lunations, but just know the royal star and Taurus is all about deep passions. And so you already see the theme for the first half of the week. But here's the kicker. The moon in Sagittarius is going to square Mercury, your ruler, in Pisces. Yeah, retrograde. So, you're going to feel that, right? You're part of the mutable family. What's really interesting is that it's the moon in Sagittarius square Mercury in Pisces. And Jupiter rules both Sagittarius and Pisces. So they're going to square the day that he goes direct. So when I say this day is going to be loud, it's going to be loud, especially for you. Mercury's your ruler. We'll talk about in the second spread, but if you're looking for a sign, this is it. All right. Now, speaking of signs and fate and stuff, right? Mars conjunct the North Node. This is 8 degrees in Pisces, okay, on Friday the 13th. And that kind of tracks because, especially if you saw my last live stream with Nick Dagan Best, I'll leave it at the end of this video. We talk about March. Yeah, we talk about March. But anyway, remember Mars is the god warrior, okay? With this aspect, he's making you look destiny right in the eyes. And he's saying, YOLO, do it. Go for it. Go for it. And you probably will, all right? Especially when it comes to something with relationships, love, marriage. Again, personal relationships, your relationship with your daughter, your brother, your boss, wherever that energy is there for you. Agreements as well. All right. Now, Mars isn't just drive, he's courage, right? So this is actually really great. He's in, the spiritual waters of Pisces, connecting with the nodes of fate. You're likely going to take some inspired action here, for your dreams, for your calling, your life purpose, like a gladiator. It's Mars, or you're going to see some fated events unfold, fated circumstances. Again, the concentration here is going to be relationships, right? Love, marriage, contracts. But here's the thing, it's still Mars, who can be aggressive. He's just a little wet. All right. So, with that said, there can be some pressure, there could be some urgency that you feel, inflammation. Mars, remember, is physicality. This could be, there could be something that you feel is escalating. This is also not seeing eye to eye with others. This is hidden enemies revealed. A little bit of escapism. Yeah. This could also be you feeling a little, maybe being a little reactive in some circumstances. Maybe you feel a little unhinged on your path to enlightenment. So remember, this is a fated moment. Actions have consequences, as we know. That's literally karma, right? So you want to harness this energy. You want to channel this energy with kindness, compassion, self-love, all those high frequencies of that Pisces energy, having faith in yourself, okay, to be karmically rewarded. Yeah. And maybe this is the day that you do realize something about your path needs to change. And that's why you would take that inspired action. But again, a lot here that just maybe there's something here that moves you in the direction that you need to go. All right. And also remember, this is a 19-year cycle. Remember, you do have the South Node in your sign. So if you want to think about April 24th, 2007, okay, give it about a week. So April 24th to the end of April 2007. When it comes to love and marriage and relationships, partnerships, contracts, agreements, even spirituality. Yeah. Just spiritual epiphany. You might remember what happened around that time, because I went back and I actually looked at the chart and we had a mutable grand cross. And so, two oppositions squaring each other with Venus and Gemini, Jupiter, and Sagittarius, South Node in your sign. Remember, 19 years karmic cycle. And so that's just really intense. Like, you can't find your center of gravity. And remember, we're at a different time. It's a new world, right? Very different sky chart. One of a kind of aspects nobody's ever experienced. So it's not going to be like the same thing, but it's like little echoes. All right. Something from that time that you could possibly clear up now. Okay. Remember, it's a karmic cycle. All right. So there could be some karma. Remember, this is your 8th house that's activated as well. What I told, like, karmic debt is what I said, right? So just, if you're curious. And it will be the mutable signs: Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and you. And I'm throwing in Scorpio and Cancer that would really feel this aspect. If you have any planet 6 to 10 degrees in your natal chart, and any of the first 4 signs, the mutable signs, those planets will be aspected. You will really, really feel this. Now, the other thing that is happening is Sunday, March 15th. Yeah. Mercury conjunct Mars, 10 degrees Pisces. So if you want, you can think about the last 2 weeks of October last year. Remember, we had a series of these Mercury Mars conjunctions. They're not, they don't happen as frequently as we've been having them. And so Mercury being your ruler, back then it was Scorpio. It was in Scorpio. So there was a lot of communication happening for y'all. There was a lot of communication, maybe some really important conversations, really intense conversations that you may have been having, especially with maybe money. or even love and relationships. Mercury conjunct Mars really is power of the mind, and it can be a little heated, like heated exchanges, fiery debates. This would be weaponizing words, being too like preachy. It would be passive aggressive energy. It'd be accelerating your, any illusions or fantasies. Okay. But you can use the higher expression of this, which would be putting your vision, your dreams in motion. Yeah. Writing, speaking with positive impact, where you have conversations, those conversations you have where after the conversation, you're like, good talk, good talk. That's this. Okay. You're probably good. There is a good chance you might be returning to some projects or relationships, maybe even agreements. Remember, Mercury brings things up from the past, right? Or even maybe some dreams that you had that you set aside. You got really busy, right? So you could be returning to that. Honestly, this is actually speaking honestly, right? This is having the courage to speak honestly. Maybe a little direct, but at least it's honest. And remember, Mercury is retrograde, so miscommunication is possible. So with this aspect, say what you mean and mean what you say, and you will be good, right? Mutable signs, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and you. We're really going to feel this aspect. And if you have any planets, 8 to 12 degrees, any of those signs in your natal chart, you're going to have some things that you're going to need to say, especially love, marriage, partnerships. Now, Ceres is going to move into Taurus too. I like this for you. I really like this. I think it takes some energy out of, because the intensity of that 8th house, right? So Ceres is a dwarf planet, kind of like Pluto. So very important. And she is, Mama Bear, Mother Earth. She's your dwarf planet, by the way. So has all the qualities of Virgo. And she's the harvest goddess. So Ceres is how you nurture yourself and give and receive care. She's all about nourishment, all about comfort, service to others. When she was in Aries, it was all about self-protection, preservation, survival. But she's in Taurus now. And so the focus will shift to your body, to security, to resources, what you find, what's valuable to you. And there will be a pretty significant emphasis on diet and food, because Taurus does rule food. So think, detox, just like digestion, sustenance. Am I eating healthy? What am I feeding my kids? What are my parents eating? Yeah. Ceres is, the grain goddess too. So wheat, gluten, food intolerances, those are big themes that you may experience, but it's also like a lot of spiritual energy. There is a sense of when you are spiritually aligned, you're going to start feeling a lot of that comfort. And I feel like there is going to be a sense of just the fact that Taurus rules your 9th house. There's something here where I feel like taking care of others is going to broaden your horizons. Okay. Anyway, I think that you're going to love that Ceres is in a fellow Earth sign. All right. And the other thing is, and we'll talk about Ceres more in the second spread. Ruby, can I put you down? Can I put you down? All right. There we go. So, Virgo, let's get started. Wow. I think I feel like yeah. Let's do it. Virgo. Yeah. Let's do this. Virgo, I don't even like, all right. Yeah. Sun, moon, and Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Let's see what's going on for Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. March 9th to the 15th. Virgo. Wow, Virgo. All right. Virgo. Do you know that you're one of 3 signs that ends in O? Yeah. Virgo, Leo, Scorpio. And that's it. Virgo. I'll stop. Actually, you know what? One more. Virgo. How funny would it have been if they, the ancients came up with verstop? You get it? I'll stop. Virgo, I do a traditional Celtic Cross spread. It's always great to see you, Virgo. I'm here every Wednesday. Do a traditional Celtic Cross spread. Offers the best overview, especially for a weekly reading. Yeah. And if we need to pull clarifiers, we will. And I always feel like it's whenever I get to your side, like I've lost my voice, but we're here. We're going to do this. And I need to put on my glasses. And I'm very excited for you, Virgo. I really, truly am. This is going to be, you're going to feel some momentum. Mm-hmm. All right, Virgo. Let's see what's, Okay. Virgo. This is a big week. The big week. You do have a big life lesson this week. Yep. Well, I mean, you got Mars conjunct the North Node. All right. So, yeah. The Nine of Swords. That's fine. Listen, there's some things that it feels like it energetically, it doesn't feel like just, oh, this just happened. It feels like there may have been something that has been, taking up a lot of headspace. There could have been something that has been on your mind for a long time. Maybe you're losing sleep over it. Maybe you feel a little bit of, anxiety as well. I mean, you do rule the nervous system. And so just remember, take deep breaths. The whole point of the Nine of Swords is to take the swords out one by one. You can't do it all at once, right? You want to kind of just kind of consider these swords like tangled. You want to just untangle things, Up here, swords are the mental suit. A lot going on up here. It does look like there is someone here that may have, you may be in this situation because of something that's happening with someone within your world. Someone who may have said something to you, done something to you where you're just like, right? Or, obviously it could be the other way around. With a week with what's happening, right? Astrologically, there can be a lot of miscommunication, first of all. So remember that, okay? Your ruler is retrograde. The other thing is you could have said something. You could have done something. You could be sitting here like, I don't know how to fix this. But either way, a lot of this is definitely going to be circumstantial when you consider the series of the, North Node activations that we've had the past few weeks. And again, of course, you're going to be impacted, right? The South Node being in your sign. And literally the lunar eclipse that was in your sign at the March 3rd, right? So this is, again, we want to be able to have conversations. We want to be able to face anything where we just can't sit in that bed, right? And there could be something that has been just taking up a lot of headspace. And here's the thing. At least you are moving forward because you have the Two of Swords and the heart of your spread. Now, you still have to, you're going to have, okay, I'm going to show you something here. You see how this figure here, hands over the eyes. This one here, wearing a blindfold, neither can see. So what are you choosing to not see, right? Especially with the Two of Swords. You're gonna have to take that blindfold off eventually. Those swords are gonna get heavy, heavy. All right. And so it feels like you're holding something in when you go from the Nine of Swords to the Two of Swords. Remember, there's a lot of moments here. Yes, take your time to reflect, reassess, but also, like I said, you're going to have some conversations. You're going to have these conversations. And some of them maybe, think about the relief you have. If there is a sense of like, I really don't want to do this, right? That would be facing your fears. And here's the thing. Sure, partnerships, relationships, love, marriage, all of that up there, right? Some of the biggest themes. But when you think about the lower expressions of Pisces, where all this activity is this week, right? We're in Pisces season. You've got Mars, you have your ruler, Mercury, and Pisces as well. It would be self-sabotage, all right? That's the seventh house. Or, sorry, that's Pisces. That's lower expressions of Pisces. It would be self-sabotage, not facing your fears. It would be withdrawing yourself. You can see they're alone, right? Isolation. It would also be the biggest thing really would be what I said earlier, like hidden enemies. Like there could be something here where you may have felt a little bit betrayed, okay, from someone that you thought you trusted as well. So keep that in mind. Those are some lower expressions of the 12th house. 12th house, there's so much secrecy in there. And then you've got Saturn, Neptune, and Venus and Aries in your 8th. And the 8th house is, there's a little bit of mystery there as well. And so there could be some hidden matters that you're dealing here, but also them being revealed this week, especially with Pluto very active and with all the lunations, to be honest. So this is all about being in touch with your emotions, your feelings, your intuition. You can see she's got her back turned to the sea and the moon, right? Intuition, emotion. So you want to connect. Do you want to connect? I really do feel like there's something here. And, this is a duality. So choosing to take out that blindfold, choosing to have those conversations, choosing to heal, self-heal, whatever it is, it's going to be liberating, right? This is also attributed to Moon and Libra. So again, there may be something here with relationships or money. Yeah. But it seems like relationships. Now, you do have the moon in your challenge area. And the moon in tarot is attributed to Pisces. So we're really kicking up that, the relationships, love, marriage, etc. Personal relationships as well. It could be a friendship. There really is something here. With the moon in your challenge area, you have all this happening. There's something that you're going to have to face. All right. It does feel like there's a lot on your mind. But then this is saying, why don't you let this, the moon guide you? The moon is your intuition. It is, your subconscious. That would be the 12th house as well, by the way. So things like really, really deep. And then remember, your 8th house is activated. That is transformation, is death and rebirth, but it's also very psychological. Yep. And so you got a lot of swords here. There may be some overthinking, overanalyzing, and just staying with that, right? Right here, where this is a little bit of that stuck energy. But then here, you have to remember the moon is also like your nurturing side. The moon is also like memory, like I said earlier. Or did I say that? I mean, it is. The moon is, a lot of other things. So it does feel like there is something here. It's almost like a rite of passage. It's something that you have to do. It does look like it. You're going to have to this week, okay? You're going to have to. And then you're going to be fine and you're going to be good. You even see, I'm going to show you. You see, this is card 18. Yeah. 1 plus 8 equals 9. So it's referencing the hermit. Yeah. Who is attributed to you, Virgo. Okay. And you see whose face is in the moon. And so there is a little bit of this quest. It's this internal quest, this soul searching, this introspection that's going to get you through. And then you'll be fine. And again, even with this, there's a lot of like, what is not being said? What am I refusing to see? Or what am I choosing not to see? So again, we want to take off that blindfold. Now, you do have strength, okay, in your crown, which is great. Courage, inner courage, feeling bold, feeling brave, knowing that anything is possible when you go within. Strength really is all about the heart. It's strength is attributed to Leo. Leo is all about the heart. And so really connecting mind, heart, that mind-heart coherence, that's going to get you through. That's going to be very helpful. Strength is also knowing, you see, she's, taming the light, right? It's knowing that there's, resisting the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. That requires a lot of strength. You even see the dog and the wolf here in the moon, representing pretty much the same thing, but just think of it more as like this emotional evolution that, again, it just feels like there's something that's going to help you evolve. You do have that 4 of Cups in the root of your spread. And so it does feel like there is something missing with what's happening here. The 4 of Cups is attributed to Moon and Cancer. It's very emotional, right? The Moon rules Cancer. But there is this sense of where you feel like something's not right. And you've got the Hand of Spirit offering you the 4th cup. You already got 3 cups. And so you can see the cup is right in front of his face. Like, this is not an illusion. He sees it, but you see his reaction as well. Okay? And so, again, there is a sense, this refusal to see. Yeah? This is someone who, arms crossed, crossing off his heart. And this card really is more about gratitude. Really appreciating the things that you do have in your life. You have a roof over your head. Tacos, whatever, right? But that's what this card is. If there's something that doesn't feel right, it's up to you to go discover what that is. Okay? Remember what I said earlier, that joy. Yeah? Seeking that joy. Making sure you have that. And so there's a lot of things happening internally here. But there is a sense of, I can do this. All right? And then you also have that 6 of Pentacles in your future, which is amazing because there's your support. There's your comfort. The 6 of Pentacles, this is all about taking inspired action, yeah, for the greater good. This is that, what I, even like what I was talking about, Ceres, like knowing the balance between giving and receiving, giving just enough where you still have some, for you. That is Ceres. You really have to take care of you. You have to take care of you, okay? In order to take care of others, you have to be in a good place. And you got to know that right balance. And so once you take off that blindfold, I feel like a lot of things are going to move forward for you right here, because this is all about harmony. Everything's harmonizing for you. This is Pentacles, it's money, it's wealth, but it's honestly, it's graciousness, and it is that gratitude. And so it does feel like there's all this support just waiting for you. And it could be the other way around for sure. Yeah. It could be you taking off that blindfold, you feeling really empowered, and then you're the one that is just in this place where you are, again, like I said, it feels like there's a lesson to be learned here. And with that lesson, you feel empowered, and then you impart your wisdom to others as well. All right. Now, let's get to your stuff. There's a lot happening here, Virgo. If you like this reading, it'd be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. Share. That's another one. Share. But no, seriously, tell me what's going on. This is big. There's a lot. That's a lot happening here. You know I love you. All right, Virgo. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna clarify something too. You get the 4 of Wands. Great. Go for it. I'm Mars. Go for it. 4 of Wands, it really is a card of like, it just feels like there's the sense of freeness, right? And it feels like that is the one thing where there's a little bit of not right here, but as you move forward, you see it, right? And so this is really just saying, look at what's waiting for you on the other side. You've got the 4 of Wands. It's highly associated with, your like the domestic scene, okay? Home and family, but also work. It's Wands. Work, profession, career, your passions. Wands are your passions. They're, they have the spirit of fire, right? This is life force energy. Interestingly enough, third decan of, Aries. So this card is attributed to Venus in Aries, if you can believe that. So there's change here. There's change that you're seeking where it feels a little bit, free. This is a card of celebration as well. Marriage as well. Even, just uniting with others. It can be in a business context. Yeah. But it's very optimistic, and you got the world and your external factors area. I mean, change is in the air. Okay. And if you saw your monthly forecast, if you saw your monthly forecast last week, that's a big sign. Okay. All right. So, yeah, the world, there you are. It's the end. It's the end of the Fool's Journey. And another card of celebration. This is a little bit more subtle, but you can see the dancing figure dancing for a reason. All right. So very nice. Very nice. It just feels like there's, this sense of feeling proud of yourself. There really is one chapter for sure closing. And remember, out of all the signs, you have the great reset in your 8th house of death and rebirth. And so there truly is some big changes on the horizon for you. Yeah, that 2 of Wands. Honestly, yeah. I think that you're ready for this next step. And I think that if there's a big theme this week, it's just not being stuck, not feeling stuck, not feeling alone, not feeling, like overthinking or like worrying and not, and being able to face the things that you need to face, because you also have the 10 of Swords and your final outcome, which is, it's good. 10 is the end. Yeah. This is the card of new dawn. The sun's coming out. Okay, so those dark clouds are actually clearing. This is the end. And you're moving forward. So the thing that I want to point out here is that, yeah, you started off with a 9. Like I said, I feel like there's a life lesson here. Your final outcome is that 10 of Swords. There's that end. There's something ending right here. Another big indicator. There's something ending. And sure, it might be the hard way, okay? Because it is the 10 of Swords, but it doesn't have to be. This is all about mind over matter. This is all about you. And again, the direction you move. Remember, with a lot of these aspects that are so potent, there's that high frequency and the low frequency, right? So with that Four of Cups, it's just vibrating at that higher frequency. That Ten of Swords, I'm going to show you something here. So yeah, there could be this sense of like, this was really hard, but it's over. And we talked about karmic cycles. This, I'm going to show you. Look, you see his hand gesture. It is the same as the Hierophant, the high priest. So this is indicating this is, sure, it looks, but it is truly like this blessing in disguise. It's over. I do not have to worry about this, think about this anymore. It's done. But you do have to take this with you. You do have to, as in learning from whatever was challenging, whatever was taking up too much headspace, to use it to empower yourself moving forward. Okay, remember, everything is cyclical. There's a 19-year cycle, a karmic cycle. All right. And this is indicating you're never going to go through this experience again because you've learned, right? You've learned. And so that's why it's this blessing in disguise. And if you don't, that's the thing. The whole point is learning, right? Because if you don't, you could be stuck in that cycle again and again and again. That's what karma is. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you is that in your future, Six of Pentacles. So they have the same hand gesture. And so we call him the young Hierophant. That's one of the reasons why I say this is a life lesson. You can't be a high priest unless you go through experiences. And so there's just something here that's making you become wiser and stronger and just being able to, like I said, like impart your wisdom to others, being a lot more secure, having that strength, confidence, but also this selflessness. And that really is a Virgo trait, right? What was I gonna? Yeah, the Two of Swords. I would see that Two of Swords. Let's see that Two of Swords. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the Four of Pentacles. Well, I want to see something else actually. There you go. And so it does look like that there's a sense of you're really not budging about something. You have right here the two of Swords, and then you have the Four of Pentacles, and then you also have the Four of Cups. So you see how they're just so firm. They're just so unbudgeable. Okay? So you want to be very flexible this week. All right? The other thing, that if you haven't noticed, you got the three cards where all three of them are crossing off their hearts. Okay? And so you want to remember what I said. It's almost like this with strength in your crown. Remember, this is more about the heart. The strength is more about the heart, right? It's inner courage. Trace the word back to its etymological root, courage. It's core, K-O-R. Translates to heart. Yeah. Corazon. Anyway, you got it. So, yeah. There's just be a little bit more flexible. All right. You are a mutable sign. Something around home, money, family, security, right here. Okay. And so it looks like there is something where that's where some emphasis is. But the Four of Pentacles, yeah, sure. That is maybe for you. It could be something where this is someone who's really gripping that pentacle, right? He's standing on two pentacles. He's got one on his crown. So this is when money owns you. And like I said, love and money, relationships and money, finances, maybe the biggest theme for you this week. So again, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be good. There is going to be some great changes, but just be willing to adapt. And I do still feel like you may have to have some conversations. The lovers, there you go. It's amazing. There's you deepening these relationships, connections. This really is all about commitments, but it's also, your choice. It is your choice. All right. You want to see that 10 of swords? Let's see that 10 of swords. And then, yeah. And then you have the 6 of cups. Look at that. Look at that. When I say it's over, it's over. This is you tapping into your inner child. This card is all about sharing and kindness. It's a lot of protection. It's security. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful card. It's letting your hair down. You don't have to, it's letting your guard down is what it is. Okay? With that 6 of cups, 6 of pentacles. I love that. Anyway, Virgo, you're going to be good. You're just going to have to just be flexible. Be flexible. There may be some things that you're going to have to face this week, but you see what's waiting for you on the other side. This is great. Expect change. You are in your new world, new era. Virgo, thanks so much. Next week, everything is building up to the new moon. The new moon in Pisces and your 7th house, partnerships, relationships. There could be something new here for you. This is about commitments. You got Archangel Raphael blessing you with all this love. You see the full abundance of the sun. For a lot of y'all, this is going to be career too. Yeah. This is, okay. For a lot of y'all, especially with the new moon in Pisces, and then Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini very soon. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Anyway, second spread, the bonus spread. Yeah. We'll be looking at the other half of your forecast, which would be the lunations and the fixed stars and the asteroids. And we'll look at that rare double linked reception that's happening on Monday. We'll use the Tempest deck. And we're going to be looking with, we always look for the cards that overlap. When you pull the same card from 2 different decks, that's when you know. When you know, the universe is sending you. So it's about 15 minutes for every sign. Tier 3 members, really good and legendary members. You know where to find the link. Thank you so much for being members. Anyone's welcome to join. Virgo, if you like this reading, it'd be great if you subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. You can see things are ending. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Virgo. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.